Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or messages. Come in, come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. The planetary energies are Chiron goes retrograde in Aries, the first house. So that means the wounded healer will be nursing internal wounds. That means you big cat, you'll be nursing some internal wounds. Focus on picking which battles are worth fighting, darling dears. Allow yourself to walk away from unwinnable wars with feeble-minded simpletons hell-bent on what? Being right. You also have Mercury in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. This aspect plans to wreak havoc on every part of your life. I know, Big Cat. If I had pearls, I'd clutch them with you, darling dears. Especially when some hard words or an exclusion is afoot. It's them coming for you without being sent for, darling dears. So you have to understand it's period and point blank. An outside attack trying to get on the inside, all whilst what? Chiron is on hand to what? Tell you to nurse your inner wounds. Harsh words, darling dears, and exclusions are definitely afoot. So be on the alert and be aware. Why? Because you're the upgrade. You are. You always were, darling dears. You always had the ruby slippers. I know, Big Cat. I know. You did. You are guided by the divine spirit within you. And you are always was and always will be supported by your ancestral team. You always was and will forever be the upgrade. And I'll have nothing else said. Your spiritual gifts gave you clarity and strength to overcome many a challenging situations or circumstance. You have the power to manifest your dreams and inspire others with your strength, your ingenuity, your dexterity, excusez-moi s'il vous plaît, your tenacity, and your badass alchemist ways, darling dears. Embrace unity and live a purposeful, bountiful life, darling dear, driven by the divine spirit and your ancestor legacy, because they went through it, darling dears, and they overcame, but they utilized, they got together and chose you, darling dear, to be the upgrade. So keep shining. Why not? There's enough shade out there. Someone's got to shine. Might as well be you. 333 on the count of the universe. Your ancestral team is working with you to make all of your dreams a reality. But you have to continue to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, Big Cat, because you really are the upgrade. Right, let's get your oracle message. We're going to use Wisdom of the Chakra. I believe that's what it's called. Wake up the deck. Give it a good shufti. You always held the whip, darling dears. Khaleesi or Khal. You be. This is why you was pinpointed, earmarked as the black sheep. They listen. You was missed assigned a title which was not yours. It should have said upgrade. But now that you know, you have impartiality. This also reminds me of the Justice card in Tarot. The Justice card is represented by the 7th house, the house of contractual relationships, marriages, friendships, partnerships, your work relationships. But it also speaks about what? Open enemies, darling dears. Open enemies that are faithful to what? Hateration, darling dear. Why? Because you're the upgrade. Anyone that you've left behind, once you realize whom you are on this Malkuth, darling dears, they are big mad at you. You've got opportunities. Look at these two archways at your back, darling dears. You had to close many doors, and Divine has gifted you with the duo of windows. Love it. I don't hate it. You found balance. Balance is what comes with that big P. What's that? Peace, darling dear. Peace and potential. This came out in the water sign read. There's a message for you. Yes, baby, forgiveness. You use that big F word. Forgiveness has to come from within. Forgiving yourself for overstaying in a situation, for maybe not acting when you needed to, maybe not speaking up for yourself. Forgive those who trespassed against you. You did the Lord's Prayer like a boss, darling dears, and embodied everything. Forgiveness was key to everything. No longer holding the hot coal and waiting for it to burn anyone else. They couldn't give a good golly or a gosh, darling dear. They're off doing their wickedness somewhere else. You found balance and peace because you realize you're the upgrade. Yeah. Impatience, darling dears. You had to learn to crawl before you could walk. Divine is telling you to always be impatient when you find yourself in an uncomfortable, incompatible, inconceivable circumstance, because you are the overcomer of challenging times. Why? Because you're the upgrade. Once you get quiet and listen to spirit, get your third eye buffed up to a bitchin' shine, darling dears. Realize that there's a pearl of wisdom in every lesson of forgiveness that you had to learn. The lovely brown is standing out in this picture. The brown speaks about the wholesomeness, the stability that you've created within you. This also speaks about grounding, darling dears. Brown is also the color of wealth. Some of you don't even realize what you are about to walk into because of your upgrade status being realized to self. This is a new season, darling dears. This is how you operate Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. And in your plans, plan to stumble, darling dears. Maybe even fall, but remember, fall 7 times, get up 8. Impatience over complacency any day of the week, darling dears. Base of your deck, because you have the key. Some of you gave others the key to your recovery, darling dears. And what did they do? They blew hot breath, gingivitis breath over it, darling dears. But the key to recovery always came from within. And again, it reminds of the fact that Chiron is retrograde in Aries. So it's woundings from words, harsh words spoke at your back, maybe to your face, darling dears. Always being excluded in the group. Why? Because you're the upgrade, darling dears. You shined, you stood out even when you didn't understand the weight, the spiritual gifted weight that you carry. All eyes on you, darling dear. Let's get some words from those that are watching you climb. Let's find a deck. What does the watchers want to tell you? You speak to me through music, so they hear everything, possibly music that was popular in your time, darling dear. Maybe they got you on the rinse and repeat of what was someone living in yesteryear. All of the cards were going topsy-turvy. So what else? You speak to them through music. That's the only conversation they're going to get, so they better put it on rinse and repeat. I'm afraid to contact you. They should be afraid. They should be what? Really, really scared. Past scared, anxious, nervous, pressed, pumped, and perturbed. What? Contact the upgrade? Who knows they're the upgrade? I want to be more than friends. So soul ties are afoot, darling dear. Coming back to be just your friend. Just your friend. When they fumbled the upgrade while you was there, their life was enriched by your presence. They got that job. They got the validation through whatever you brought to the table, darling dears. Whether you was in the workforce or a homemaker. Because listen, the person that has to run the home. You got a lot of things going on, blood, bruh, or sistrine. What do they call it? A domestic engineer. Speaking to you through music, yet they're afraid to contact you, but they want to be more than friends. Confused.com. It was all my fault, but I blamed you. Then now they're telling the truth from the nosebleed section, darling dears. Realizing that they fumbled the upgrade that had the divine blessing on their life. I know I messed things up. They know a lot. They know a lot, and they must know this to their core. They always know, innit, on the back end, without the Vaseline. They know a lot, don't they, darling dears? Everything coming full circle. Let's get a deck. Yeah, 6 of Pentacles. They're giving and receiving, darling dears. You overgave in circumstances because you didn't realize that you was, what? Frittering away your gift, darling dear. Wasting it with those that were impatient with you, with their words, their actions. They treated you like they tattooed your name in pencil, darling dear. They tattooed your name on their body in pencil. Now they're impatient, wanting you to forgive them, wanting to bring balance back into the situation, wanting to be on par with you. Who wants that? To be in league with the devil's most diligent worker? No one. Where is the big cat right now? In their realization of upgrade comes from within, darling dears. Where are you right now? Tower moment. You have a sudden change coming, darling dears. Or there was a sudden change. This could be the ending of a job, a relationship, moving away from a situation. But the tower moment could be what? Epiphany has struck thy cranium. Yeah. Tower moment, darling dears, is ruled by fire, Mars, and Uranus energy. You had to deconstruct in order to reconstruct, darling dear, a true new life for you. This is releasing of old habits, darling dears. You've let them go. You are so much stronger than before. Being around people that like to argue and fight, tongue wrestle, that's so uncouth. Yeah. I was just about to say, what happened in the past? You realize your badass alchemist ways. We was talking about it. Things started to move quickly once you released a situation. Possibly suddenly, darling dears. You suddenly heard that voice that it was time to skedaddle. Get the vamoose on. Get your tinky winky in. You found direction and moved with a quickness, darling dears. You even shocked yourself, tower moment. What do you need to beware of at this moment in time as you continue to forage forward, as you realize whom you are, the upgrade? You need to beware of what? Your beacon of light, darling dear. You're going to attract a lot of what? Falsehoods. Those that carry the what? Gingivitis, airbenders, darling dears. Charmers. People that are charming, that come in with a quickness. But this is self-service, darling dears. Those that are indulgent. They're coming to take something from you because they recognize your light. Seeing your deportment, darling dears, how you overcame challenges. This could be people from the past as well. People that you've already gotten up from those tables. You no longer eat at those tables. You no longer drink with these people. These people, well, they said they were people. We didn't do the scratch and the sniff test. And if YouTube should allow that, people will abuse it. They will abuse it. Yeah. Beware, darling dears, of the hoodwinkers coming in. All that charming talk, but nothing to back it up with. Tower moment. You'll be shocked and surprised. A depletion of your power grid, darling dears, to a feeble-minded ne'er-do-well. Manipulated it in the past because you didn't know yourself, darling dears. The action you took to become the badass alchemist ways, to become or come to the realization that you was an upgrade. Yeah, you had to what? Get past ruminating thoughts. This is about not allowing past people or situations to keep repeating in your life. You became the stumbling block in that situation. You realized that you was also manifesting this situation by staying in situations that were always volatile. Accepting the ball swanky, and in some cases just being quiet in order to receive this cup. There's nothing wrong with that, darling dears. We was all dummy bats. Me too. For a whole, what, half of 100 years, darling dears. So yeah, I told you I'm a pointer, not a picker. How are you currently being seen by others at this moment in time? How are you being seen by others? They ain't playing, that you don't play with your words. That you come through with what you believe to be your truth, darling dears, and you're quick to nip things in the bud. They see you as also decisive, highly intelligent, and moving quickly in a new direction. Some of them see you as going to some kind of spiritual studies or even legal studies, darling dears, learning about different. They're watching you learn and grow. Let me see this. Yeah. Receiving certificates, darling dears. Yeah. You're also seen as extremely loyal and nurturing by others, darling dears. You may even have a platform. You could be a counselor, a psychologist, life coach, a spiritual healer, darling dears. But whatever you're being seen and recognized by others for your skills, because you're seen as highly intelligent, quick-witted, but also nurturing and strong, stable. Is there any negative challenges coming up in the upgrades immediate future? You've got some form of news coming towards you, darling dear. Because the Page of Wands is a messenger. News. The only challenge is what? You keep winning, darling dear. Being successful, continuing to move forward. Moving away from what? People that say, I know I messed it up. What's underneath that? They're wishing things could be different. I wish things could be different. That goes for a whole different deck. Why do they wish things could be different? You've got no challenges because you're moving forward. This is also about you what? Actively listening to your higher self. Paying attention to your intuition and your discernment. This is about you tapping into your inner warrior success, darling dear. Handling the new success that your life is what bringing towards you. It could be in the form of what? A new love, darling dear. And a camera. Somebody is worried about you getting involved in a new situation, darling dears. Maybe they know that they can't, well, from these cards, they know they can't come back, but they felt or still feel they have some form of hold over the upgrade. How can you have a hold over the upgrade who's taken the time to what? Forgive the situation, find balance within. Well, you didn't go to prison, so you must have found balance, isn't it? You're being watched. They're stalking you, darling dears. In that same thing, you are learning from past situations. The challenge is to really learn from those past situations and realize the red flags when you see the red flags. How's your money looking? Because everybody wants to know about the Skrillers. How's your money looking? Fabulous. New contracts. Yeah. Your money look strong. That gets no S, darling dear. On an 8. A new beginning. Yeah. Whatever you put your hands on now, because you realize what you are and what you bring to the table, because you take the time to continuously improve, darling dears. You've been working really hard. You can attract whatever you want in the monetary sense, darling dear, in the material wealth. You can do this. You learned a lot when you went through your what? Realization of your upgradedness, darling dear. You went through a lot of betrayal, separateness, learning to walk alone. But this is about you being strong, going from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White, listening to what? Your higher self, your higher mind. Yeah, there's a lot of gossip, darling dear. There's a lot of talk about you. But you couldn't give a good golly or a gosh, darling dear. It's at your back. You remember what they did, but you're not living with it. Why? Because you utilize forgiveness. You know who you are. Leaving karmic cycles and relationships behind, understanding it was all part of waking you up. And it got more and more extreme the longer you stayed and refused to understand that you was always the upgrade and always will be the upgrade. What does the tarot want you to know? Okay, we've got the Eight of Swords, King of Swords. Yeah, this goes to Nine of Swords. Don't worry about your future, darling dears. It's already been written and you are acting on it. Yes, you were slow in getting to this, but it's about the deck wants you to know, tarot wants you to know, spirit wants you to know that your diligent efforts have been recognized. And you shall achieve. This is about helpful, like-minded souls on your intellectual level, your spiritual level coming forward. But it's taken time. It was for you to realize whom you are so that you could what? Adapt your environment accordingly, as well as what? Your frequency. You're going to get a lot of offers. Like I said, you're a beacon to good as well as bad. And you have to make the right choice, darling dears, because it's part of your fate and your destiny. You're an earth angel, but it also speaks about the protection that you have. Yeah. After what? Many a betrayal, darling dears, the challenges, but yet you still have it in you to give to others. This is why you're the upgrade. Right. What of the past? Wanting to rear its ugly head. Let's give the cards a good shufti. They want to be more than just friends. They want to be more than just friends. All right. Look, isolation, darling dear. They're just seeking to get what they can get from you, darling dear. Isolation is key because you're the boss. You run things, things don't run you, darling dears. This is about you claiming dominion over yourself. Not anybody can sit at your table. Understanding energy and frequency, darling dears. Quick to decide in situations that are for your growth, darling dears. Is this a situation for your growth? No. No, niente. No, you don't want to be friends with them. Not any day. Least of all a day that's got a D in it. No, everyone will be friends. No, dead in the water. You don't even want to think about the past situation because there was a lot of manipulation, but it gave you the zest that you needed, darling, to come up from underneath all of the illusion, all of the lies that you was telling yourself, that you was being told by others about how they perceived you to be and what you might listen. No, mate, you unbroke your heart when you realized a different perspective of the situation. And you knew if you stayed there, you'd be stuck in what? Generational curse prison, darling dear. You came up from under that upgrade. Upgraded to what? Emotional alignment, right? And clear thinking. You know that any choice you make is not going to be a blind choice anymore. Spiritually guided and strong because you always were the upgrade. So tell him to take a picture. Hey, take a picture. Because there's no going back to toxic, darling dears. There's no going back to situations that you graduated from when you realize awaken to your true nature. On this Malkuth, you have purpose. Purpose, darling dears. And you're saying love and light to the past. You're going to have to be disappointed for air. You don't want to play with Chucky. Or what? Was it the Chucky acolytes? No, babe, you don't want that. So you're moving on. Let's get a final deck and then we're out of here. We're going to finish up with the Calm Club. Yeah, poison ivy, darling dears. You understood that if you allow it back in, it will just seep back into your everything. You've also got what? Water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's about you what? You flowing, darling dears. It's definitely a relationship. But you have to remember earth energy. Pressure creates diamonds. And you was a diamond in the rough until you realize that you are the upgrade. Always was. Always will ever be. This is why you are guarded, darling dears. Protected. But it also speaks about what? Being more self-sufficient. Because you have been gifted with a second chance. This new beginning is on your horizon, darling dears. And it's what you truly deserve. Once you awaken to your true divine purpose and your nature as the upgrade. On that note, I drops me mic. Thank you very much for your continued support of me and this channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I'm keeping my way through these tarot streets again. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat cat.